Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, we have to always talk about the fallen soldiers who protected our way of life. They did the ultimate sacrifice. And it wasn't just them, their family members had to go through the trauma. And you know what trauma means when somebody passes away that you love. That's what they have to go through for the rest of their lives. And knowing that it's for your freedom, it's your capitalism, it's for your rights. And now some people take that lightly, but not here in the SSN Nation. So, once again, the fallen soldiers and family, we appreciate you immensely. No words can describe anything ever, but I want to say thank you. And everybody, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Because of their sacrifice and freedoms, we are able to capitalize on capitalism. So therefore tonight, that's what we always talk about. And it's Money Making Monday tonight. And welcome. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for being here. And yes, I'm still in the DR trying to make things happen, and who knows what's going to go down. But you guys don't know. But in case you are traveling along this journey, the SSN Nation 2024 takeover is in effect. And so, first things first, make sure you share the videos, because tonight, I know it's a holiday, but the show still goes on here. And we have other things to talk about, because the SSN Lifestyle Punta Cana Investors Forum for December 2nd is going down. Tickets are on sale, and this one's a little bit different. You have to go to SSN Lifestyle, get your tickets. There's only 5 tickets for $199. That's right. We started this off 6 months early. So there's no excuse when you want to get in touch with the best attorneys, the best lawyers in Dominican Republic, some of the best. We have 2 of the best. Then you need to be here. What is that worth when you can ask questions for hours? I don't know, but I do know it's worth more than what we're charging, and it does not include hotel nor transpo. Well, it kind of does, but it doesn't include hotel, all right, nor food and drinks and all that stuff. This is strictly where we go on tour, and some of you have seen some of the shorts where we have the music festival that occurred. We also had a few people talking about, if you saw that live stream today that I uploaded, then you would see Cree Asbury taking over along with E. White and Mo Better, who was at the SSN Nation Members Takeover live stream a week or so back. So you guys can see what they were talking about, where their experiences for the 3 days that we went down to different locations, talked to different people. Some people got great deals. What can I say? You had to be here to get those great deals. And so we do it again in December, and it's December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Those are the days you need to be here. That's when we're going around. You want to open up bank accounts? Then you need to be here. We get it done quicker, faster. We talk to Johan's assistant. They get you qualified with all the docs. Then you can go in a day or 2 later and open up a bank account. Why do you want to open up a bank account? Because you want your freedoms. Just in case things go haywire in one location, you have another location where you have set up your bank. Then if you have real estate or businesses that you start, now all of a sudden you have offshore capabilities. You need the world to be your oyster. This is what I've been talking about for the last 6 years coming up. I'm still here, regardless of what happens on YouTube, regardless of what happens on podcasts. Does not matter. We still bring the message for you. So that way you don't have to fall victim to like 90% of the countries where once you are locked into a certain system and you don't make enough money, you can't leave. So think about that. You need your options. This is what the fallen soldiers and families have basically sacrificed so you have a way to make sure you can rise up. Keep that in mind as you're out here working, because that's what we do, ladies and gentlemen. We continue to work and take advantage of freedoms around the world, just like the millionaires and billionaires do. I'm bringing you along, trying to get you to understand overseas also is another opportunity for you. Don't just think you have to do everything in America. Now, welcome once again. Share the videos, smash the like button, and let's see who's going to be in the house tonight. So far in the house, we have a new member here. I want to thank Gabor Yahoo for becoming a member of the SSN Nation. Thank you so much for becoming a new member of the channel. In case you don't know, members of the channel, they actually have the link to this live stream under the community section on YouTube, where they can actually come into the live stream. And you know what else? Some people are camera shy. So what do? You turn off your camera, and this is what can happen. So I'll turn my camera off here. Where is the camera at? In fact, hold on a second. Let me stop the cam. This is what happens when you turn the cam off. There'll be an emoji in place. You don't have to load up an emoji. You don't have to do anything. Just turn your camera off. If you just want to talk, then you can be anonymous using your name, like Gabor Yahoo, if he came into the live stream. So that's what makes it very, very special. Victor Marrero is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he has that icon next to his name like Gabor Yahoo does now. And I thank him very much for that. Another investor is here. Another person who did not fall victim to become the fallen soldiers, but he still was a soldier. So Victor Marrero, soon to be retiree, thank you so much for being here on this Memorial Day. And he brings his tagline, hello all, let's do this. And that's what we help. We talk, we help. You come here, ladies and gentlemen. You can ask questions in our chat room. We don't charge. We don't make fun of you. Just ask the questions, because we are literally trying to help you. Rising tides lifts all boats. Because wait till I show you the latest news. Remember, I always say 65% of the population lives paycheck to paycheck. What if I told you it's worse? I know some of you just can't believe it, but I told you about it 5 years ago. It was gonna get like this. And then we're gonna start talking about some numbers, all right? So forgive me, I have to get excited. All right, Victor Marrero, he brings the Memorial Day greetings. Thanks to those who gave all for our freedoms today. Exactly. Also, thank you to their families for all their sacrifices. Exactly. Because again, I can tell you right now, when my dad was over in Vietnam, I'm sitting there thinking, what about all the kids whose fathers were not coming back, who did not come back? Think about that. That changed their whole life. That is pretty serious, ladies and gentlemen. Taking it for granted by a lot of people out here in America, because they never put themselves in those shoes. And I also have to admit, now that I'm much, much older, I always thought about what would have happened if I would have been 18 and gotten that draft notice saying, come on down here, young man. We want you to go put yourself in another country and fight an unknown people. You don't even know who you're fighting against. I mean, this is wild. When you really, really think about it, the average age, 18. Just think about that. This is pretty serious, ladies and gentlemen. And how many people did not come back home, or did come back home but was wounded? Think about all this. So whenever there's somebody out here saying we don't have to worry about the veterans, we don't have to worry about people that are having to live without their loved ones. This should be of utmost importance from humanity's standpoint. So I have to, forgive me a little bit, but I have to get, a little talk the real, because that's what we do here. You can't sugarcoat this stuff. You can't play around with this stuff. You can't act like you have bone spurs and then tell me that you care about military by calling them suckers and losers. I'm sorry. That's some BS. So again, this is a serious situation because those people are responsible for you to be able to live the life you are living right now, regardless of the situation. So again, the utmost respect to them and their families. The utmost respect for somebody that actually puts their life on the line. Because again, like I was saying, I would find it very hard for me to sit there and say, hey man, you're going over to somewhere and you got to put your life on the line when thousands of people are dying on a daily or monthly or weekly basis. I can't blame anybody for saying, hey, I don't want to go, because people are dying. But those who did go and put the ultimate sacrifice forward, and then their families had to deal with the carnage, with the flag sitting on their mantle, I feel for them. I can understand. I have the empathy for that. Everybody should. So when somebody comes here and acts like they want to be like, disregard the Constitution, disregard anything that has to do with the American life, you better take exception. I do. So once again, it's very simple. America, one of the most liberal, most places where you have freedom of religion, freedom to do a lot of things. But a lot of people aren't allowing you to have that full capability of what America's supposed to be. But those soldiers, they fought for whatever America wants to be. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, on this Memorial Day, we got to show some love, and we got to show some love in November as well. Don't let this fool you. There's more. And I just wanted to bring that out because I get excited. I get hot because this is very, very serious. Now, let's see what else we got. Hey, how are you? My name is Gaston. I'm from Argentina. I'm a beginner video editor, mainly dedicated to social media. I know it's a very expensive service nowadays. That's why, since I'm a beginner, I'm offering it at a lower price, but always maintaining a good quality. If you're interested and want to know more, you can contact me via Instagram at Gaston Cometo. Gaston Cometo, I like it. I appreciate it. And of course, you know how to reach me. Support at StopStrugglingNow.com. Support at StopStrugglingNow.com. Just like the channel says, just like the Stop Struggling Now Live says, StopStrugglingNow.com. Support at StopStrugglingNow.com. It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now my ranting and raving, it's Money Making Monday, ladies and gentlemen. And because of the fallen soldiers on different soils, on different continents, let that sink in for a minute. It's not just over in Vietnam. What about over in Africa? What about over in Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia? What about over in Afghanistan? Does that ring a bell? Think about it. What about in Panama? What about in Cuba? Yeah, I know the history books don't like telling you about certain locations. What about Thailand? Come on, let's go. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. Think about it. What about in Haiti? Oh, yeah, go look in 1920s when America took over Haiti. Yeah. You guys, you got to find out history books around here. You don't understand what's been going on. And once you do, you might not like what you see. But all I'm saying is this is what happens around the world for your way of life. Now, get your way of life, because I'm about to show you something that is another threat to your way of life. Here goes some of the threats, thankfully courtesy of Brian P. Because this right here starts to be very, very bad, and I don't understand why I can't find what I'm looking for. It looks like I'm going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. Let's see here. We will have to do it the old-fashioned way. I don't know where that info is. I need to find it like yesterday. But I see we have a comment from Victor Marrero, and he says it exactly right. Okay, screen sharing was canceled. All right. Moving to another country is now an option. On our way back from Georgia to Florida, we stopped at a McDonald's and paid $26. See, this is ridiculous. Exactly. For 2 burger meals. This is insane and unacceptable. There's no way we'll make it. Victor Morero, you have no idea, because I've been the only one that's been saying 65% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. The teeter-totter effect is in full force. If you have a 50-50 balance, meaning the heaviest person, and you stack up 20 people on the other side to make it work where it's 50-50 in balance, that's nice. But when you start adding 2/3 against the heaviest guys, well, guess what starts happening? The heaviest guys start sliding down towards the 2/3, which is 67%. What happens when the heavier weight slides downhill? It's a devastating landslide, and everybody loses. Do you understand this? Everyone loses. So you should be alarmed right now when I've been saying for the last year 65%. That did not alarm you. Well, here in the SSN Nation, I'm pretty sure it alarmed a few people, because like Victor Morero says, moving to another country is now an option. Overseas options, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing wrong with America as well, but you should think about offshore, just like the millionaires and billionaires do. This is what I've been talking about for 5 years. It was just a matter of time. And we live in a third world country, but you don't know it yet, because we have the world currency. If we did not, we would be like other countries where they'd be going, your currency's worth 10-1. You owe 30-some trillion dollars in deficits, and you need to borrow money from the World Bank, the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. And then we get to take your country's assets. That's what they do to other countries. But once again, we're not going to go there. What are they doing to you, the middle class? I've been telling you for 5 years, now 6, what they were going to do. And they have been doing a hell of a good job, because not only did it go from 53% living paycheck to paycheck when I started, then to 55, then to 60, then 65. Woo! My God, ladies and gentlemen, this only tells you better start figuring out where to get those assets to pay you, because this liability that you're paying for, I think you might want to stop. Quit playing around. Okay, I'm having a problem here because I'm trying to find something and I cannot find it. This is driving me crazy. I can't find it. This is terrible. It's on my screen. I can see it. I want to show it to you, but I can't. This is bad. This is very, very bad. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's see here. Is this something? Okay, I'll start with this. Why not start with this right here? Why not? Look at this. Overbuild, just a money grab, cries homeowner being billed $300 just for owning property, 600 times more than other cities. Tenants in the city are becoming increasingly strained by highly yearly rent increases. That's not what this is about. This is about landlords who own any rental property within the city will now have to pay a new $300 annual fee for property. Can you believe what is going down here in America in a capitalist system, that just because you decided to partake in capitalism, now because you have property that you are renting, they want to charge you $300, even if you're not doing Airbnb. They just want to charge you $300 because you're making extra money that you have to pay taxes on. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is not capitalism. This is basically extortion. This is why I keep saying they do not treat corporations like this when they say we're going to come in and buy up stuff and do everything and we'll give you 2,000 jobs. They give them free land. They give them tax cuts and tax breaks for 10 to 20 years. while you, the taxpayer, pays their share. What happened to these guys are renting out property? They're hiring a rental agency. They're hiring a cleaning crew. They're helping people get jobs. So why are they not giving them the free tax break for 20 years? I wonder. Because you are not a top 10 percenter that controls companies and corporations on the stock market. So therefore, you get this $300. Hitting landlords in St. Louis. Other cities are doing this as well. This isn't the only city. So you thought everything was going to be fine. Look, their neighbors say they have already paid a $75 fee to the city for this exact purpose. But some landlords like Alexis Eldridge, who owns 16 rental properties with her husband in the city of Bellefontaine, neighbors say they have already paid. Look at this money grab. 75 times 16, now 16 times 300. See, this is getting crazy. Somebody's got to come up with, what is that, $4,800? Because they own rental properties now, which now mean you're going to have to raise the rent on your tenants. Clearly, this is not any chump change. This is crazy right here. There's another town, Florissant, which only has a $50 fee, while the other one charges $150. There are over 1,500 rental properties in this community. So that's amounting to almost $500,000 every year. Where's $480,000 going in the city of Bellefontaine? I have no idea, but this is where we're going. You're going to keep paying taxes, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to keep paying for something that does not or should not be paid for. It's going to keep going. This is no surprise. This is no shocker. But once again, this is why it's Money Making Monday, because you guys know the old standby. Where do the freaking billionaires and millionaires keep their money? In businesses, number one. Multiple businesses. So you should not be doing startups. Those are high risk. You should be thinking about, how can I acquire an existing business that's profitable? That should be your number one goal going forward. Number two, stock market dividends, stock market money that you can go to sleep and make money. If the big boys are going to take over the world, at least get 5, 10, 15, 20% from the big boys by way of stock. If you still haven't downloaded stocks and gotten your free stocks from Robinhood and Webull, please use the link down below in the description. Go on, use the link. I know a lot of people should have heard about Robinhood and Webull by now after the last 3-4 years. But if you have not, get your free stocks from Robinhood and Webull. The links are down below. I'd appreciate that. That'd be greatly appreciated. And also, it'll help you and your family and your friends out if they don't know about it. So once again, we're going to keep going. But don't worry. It's only a matter of time. It isn't only the cost of living. More Americans are moving abroad. It's for better quality of life, less stress, and healthy eating. Oh, my God. Don't even let me get started. American, talk about healthy eating. Good grief. First of all, they have banned substances in most of the major developed countries that they allow American citizens to intake. And this is why we have a health crisis. Part of the reason is contributed to the foods that we are eating and what they allow you to put in foods and medications and things like this and sell to the general public. The top 30 developed nations say, no way, no how. We're not trying to kill off our taxpayers. What kind of nonsense is this? You're killing off your taxpayers. Other countries realize, well, wait a minute. If these people are dying, we're killing off our revenue. That's why everybody has their Social Security or ID numbers. That's revenue numbers. They're subsidiaries of us. Why wouldn't we want to keep these people healthy and alive for as long as possible so they can pay whatever tax we charge? That would make more sense. But instead, America says, we don't care because the pharmaceutical industry, they're on the stock market. They need to make millions and billions of dollars. We don't care if we kill off our population. But guess what? Gen Zs and Gen Xers, They care. They're not even going to have children anymore because they can't afford anything. So now that we have established nobody can afford anything, why don't I establish this? It ain't 65% anymore, ladies and gentlemen, that's living paycheck to paycheck. I got bad news. Unfortunately, I can't find it. But let me just put it to you another way. Let me see if I can find this. Oh, no wonder I can't find it. It's not on my screen. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. It's not on my screen. That's why I can't find it. So let me pull this up real quick. You guys aren't going to like this at all. Really, really not going to like this when I show you this. Oh, that's why I couldn't find it. Look at this. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is why you need your businesses. This is why you're going to need your any free money that you can get that is generated from passive income. You cannot run and hide anymore. Just because you went to school, you take orders, and you said, I love getting a paycheck. Unfortunately, that paycheck is being outpaced by the cost of living, and you're not going to be able to catch up. Do you see what's on the screen right now? It's worse than 65%. 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck at least some of the time. This is scary. 65 was scary. 70, it's almost game over. If you don't start having an entrepreneurial spirit and get into making extra cash some way, somehow, there is no way you can keep up. America has to keep breaking off more dollars out of thin air. That means more taxes and more money, and everything's going to cost more. They're adding money to the money supply. This is crystal clear what's going to happen. Here it was 64% paycheck to paycheck, right? That's what I used to talk about for the last year. Now it's 70, and it's even worse because I want you to see this. This is why things are going to go real south real fast. Here is living paycheck to paycheck statistics 2024. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, you saw 70% there. What if somebody clocks it here? Look at this. Highlighted that 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, a 6% increase from the previous year. In other words, more than 3/4 of Americans struggle to save or invest after paying for their monthly expenses. So all of you who have disposable income, congratulations. You are rare breed. You are putting yourself in position to be able to buy assets that pay you. And this is why when people are out here buying liabilities like today, because a lot of people turn this into a holiday. But if you start thinking about it, all the liability money you have going out the window, you need to start putting into something, half at least. When somebody starts saying, I need to put 30%, if you have liabilities of 30, well, you are going to, most people are going to live in a place where you have to qualify by 30-some%. So by the time your taxes, everything comes off, it's effectively way more than 30%. But just so I can put things in perspective, just think about all you who have mortgages, who have rentals that, or you live where you rent, and just think about if you could put that amount of money into something that makes money for you. Now, I know a lot of people say, Eric, that's not possible for me. I understand. But start thinking about chunks. You're going to need chunks. Everything's going to outpace you. I told people it was a wrap 5 years ago. I said in 4 or 5 years, it's going to be a wrap. Now, after they increase or decrease the federal funds rate, it's not going to just be 70% of the population. It's going to dwarf into those people making $200,000 to $300,000 a year are going to be living paycheck to paycheck. This is happening. This is going down, and it's going down in the next 3 years. You guys don't understand. You're in the spin cycle. You're in a cycle right now that you're going to have to start figuring out, where am I going to get this extra money from, before a mass amount of people start saying, I'm going to take whatever I need. See, you live in a third world country. I keep telling people, but you don't realize it yet. So again, you have to start thinking outside of the box. I need to get over to Punta Cana. I need to get over to Dominican Republic. I need to get over to wherever, Costa Rica, Thailand. I don't really care. You need to get somewhere where you can at least say, hey, I bought this for 50 grand. At least I have some place I can go, and I have a passport. And if you can get more than one passport, I would highly advise, seriously advise you to get more than one passport if you can. That's almost like mandatory. If somebody says you can have residency somewhere in another country, you better take them up on it. If you're buying property in another country and they give you residency, take it and have a passport for America. I don't really care. But the point of the matter is, regardless of living in America or around the world, you're going to need another passport. Start thinking, you're going to need another bank account. Think about this. You are going to be tapped in the next 3 years like you haven't been before. And if we already have 70% of the people living paycheck to paycheck, all it takes is a 5 to 10% increase in liability costs. And now you have people underwater. You're going to have 80% of the population underwater. That's over 200 million people. 200 million. You don't think you can round up a mob of takers at that point? I think you will be able to round up a mob of takers, and they're not going to have enough bullets in your house or wherever you decide to stash yourself and your family. You will not have enough bullets. I'm just saying. So just keep these things in mind. You want your freedoms, then you need everybody to rise. You can't separate the population. You can't say this person's bad, that person's bad, these people aren't qualified, everybody needs to raise up and be the best they can be. I'm just saying. All right, enough with my little rant right now, but it's just one of them days. Ariam Kaye, another investor, is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he says Big Dog is in the house. Best live show on YouTube. Thank you so much for that. And best host on YouTube, my boy Eric B. Thank you, from the Dominican Republic. Let's talk investments. Let's talk real estate. Yes, we're coming around to it, because you have no choices. You have to have businesses, whether you run your businesses through real estate or start a different type of business that you're familiar with. Either way, you're going to need additional streams of revenue. And how do you get those? Dividend investing, for starters, by the way. YieldMax ETF, go check out yieldmaxetfs.com. Yieldmaxetfs.com, go check them out. They just dropped gold. Gold, ladies and gentlemen. They dropped a gold ETF. I think it's GDXY. But gold is going to rise in value over the next 2 to 3 years. It's already risen a little bit, but it's going to rise a whole lot more, because gold and silver have been undervalued for the last 50 years. Yes, I've done the math. I have, due to inflation and things like that. Silver, no way it should be under $30. Silver should be damn near $1,000 by itself. Gold should be nowhere near $2,000, $5,000, or $10,000. It should be damn near $50,000 to $60,000 per ounce by itself. They have manipulated that because why? Ordinary citizens have gold and silver. You could buy gold and silver when it's only $20, $10, $2, $1,000 an ounce, things like that. But they know they don't want you to be holding those pieces when all of a sudden you hold like 10 ounces of gold, and the next thing you know, it's worth $1 million or 600,000 or 700,000. They don't want you holding that. The silver you bought for $3, $5, $10, if it shot up to $1,000, can you imagine all the silver stackers? They'd be going wild. Instant millionaires. joining the millionaires. So just think about it, ladies and gentlemen. You got freedoms in this country. You're going to have to make use of your freedoms. And I would seriously expedite that thought. Victor Marrero, here's another percentage. About 45% of individuals ages 18 to 30 have been forced to live with family members because they can't afford to live on their own. That puts financial stress on families. Victor Marrero, you're exactly right. This is a third world country, but people don't know it yet. It's slowly happening right before our very eyes, and it's because of the economics. There's no way somebody's going to work for $25 an hour. 25 times 40 is $1,000. Some people would say, hell, man, I could deal with 4,000 a week, except there's a little problem. It's called taxes. The IRS. You're probably going to get in the low threes after it's said and done. Everybody knows you have to make 30% in order to live in an apartment. That means the person that means he can only live in an $1,100 a month apartment. And I hate to say it, but it is what it is. If for that amount of money, usually may not be in a good neighborhood in some of the best states. So therefore, it's easier to just say, go back home and live in a safer environment than live in an environment where you might have a problem coming out your house. Just call it what it is. So this is why it's of utmost importance that we have to have the Money Making Monday live stream so you guys can illustrate for yourselves and understand Opus Virtual Office can help you if you don't have a business. You can, first of all, let's start at the beginning. You can start a business. A startup is risky, yes. But if you have a way to start up a business and make money, Florida has no tax for LLC. They have no tax for individuals if you're a resident there. So what you need to do is you can go to sunbiz.org. You can also go to Opus Virtual Office and have an office address in Florida, in Texas, and other parts of the country that you pay less taxes for your LLC. If you have a C Corp, though, a corporation, you're going to have to pay taxes in Florida. Sorry. But I'm just saying, this is one of the ways that you can actually cut down on how much money is going out of your pocket to Uncle Sam or the states. Now, there are situations that arise because some states have less revenues than others, but nonetheless, you have to start thinking about you and your family, because if you are not fortunate enough to have baby boomer parents, then a lot of people who are going to be under 45 years old will not be making enough money, because you have to remember every year, 3 to 5 to 10% increase in prices. You are not getting raises of 3 to 5 to 10% every year to match it. So therefore, there is no way somebody 25, 30 years old, unless they went to school or have some sort of skill set that gives them the $100 to $200 to $300,000 a year in revenues by themselves, there's no way you can keep up. So back to the illustration I was about to say, $25, that leaves you $3,200, $3,300 per month. You cannot live in an apartment. Most apartments are more than that now, even a one bedroom. So therefore, you're going to have to figure out a way to make more money. And even if you did make an extra $2,000 to bring it up to $6,000, congratulations. But you're going to still run into the same ballpark, because if you make $6,000 per month, $72,000 a year, a lot of people would have said in the past that was great. Not anymore, because $2,000 a month to rent an apartment is a thing, just like $2,500 is, just like $2,800 is, just like $3,000 is. It's a thing. So now you have to make damn near $90,000 just to live in a 2-bedroom apartment. This is where we're going. This is why the Money Making Monday live stream matters, because you already know you need dividends. You know that. You already know you need to be in the stock market. You already know you're going to have to get into real estate. You have no option at this point. Okay, discount lots. You say, Eric, I do the no credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry. We do pre-construction, right? Pre-construction buying of real estate. 0% while you're making the monthly payments. No return on investment though. But once it's done, you have a way to recoup some of that money known as return on investment, ROI. So once you do that, you have to think of everything as return on investment. So when you're out here today, you went down to go do whatever you want to do on Memorial Day. You weren't thinking, you're thinking like a consumer in America. You're not thinking like a refugee that comes from another country that sits there and says, well, I used to work for pennies for the day. Anything else is lovely. Your mindset isn't like that. Your mindset is, well, I live paycheck to paycheck, but so what if I spend an extra $100 on my credit card? That extra $100 turns into $300 or $400 if you don't pay it off in 1 month because of the 27, 28, 29, 30% or more in interest. So therefore, you need to get into real estate. You need to get into business. You need to figure out ways to bring in extra streams of revenue. So what does that mean? I'm here on the ground in the Dominican Republic. You think I'm sitting over here idly by? I'm thinking of business. I'm thinking about how can I get some business going on the island off the prying eyes of the United States of America, although I'm a U.S. citizen. I got to call it what it is. So therefore, I'm not protected in any way. I'm supposed to report any money that I earn onshore or offshore to the IRS. Now, there are things with your tax that you can do because if you're taxed here, then you're going to be waived there due to treaties. But the point I'm trying to make still is, around the world, some people may be watching and going, damn, that's pretty cool, Eric, because in my country, if I make $200,000 in the DR, my country wants 50%. And they'll call me up to tell me, hey, you made 200 G's. Where's our 100? So think about it. This is where this is all going because you're feeding the people that have the most money. They own the corporations that you shop at. They own the corporations that you have a job for. So think about the limited amount of people that own business and industry. It's not that many. So when you start realizing that we can get up to 80%, 85% in America and around the world that are living paycheck to paycheck, and you're going to have a top 10% that's going to be not even sweating. Because even though you're living paycheck to paycheck, there's millions of people who still have to buy their goods and services to survive. So now you have to start thinking, expedite what you are trying to do. There is no waste. You have about 3 years. When I first started, you had about 5. Here we are. 6 years have come up. You got 3 left. You got 3. It was going to be before 2030. And it's going to go down. Between now and 2028, you better have some sort of extra revenue plan in place. You, your family, loved ones need to do whatever means necessary to make sure you have legitimate monies coming in, because there's 2 things happening. Right now, today, not today, officially today, but I am a broker for Noval. That's Noval Properties here in the Dominican Republic, a well-known name. And this is what happened today because I had it and I was supposed to sign this. I still am going to sign it, but I'm going to show you guys something. This is where we're going. Even here, they're going there. Why? Because money laundering is not good for business and it's not good for citizens. So I want to show you this PDF, because when I started reading through it, I gave a response. I gave a response, but look at this. Look at this. Look at this form right here. This is where we're going. Even in America, this is where we're going. This is for like due diligence, but look at what they're asking for. No biggies. First, last name, ID, passport. So I'm thinking, okay, it's a form. And then I was like, wait a minute. Okay, they have my business information. It does have all this information on there. But then look, source of funds. When I saw source of funds, I was like, what do they need? They're paying me. Look, source of funds. They're paying me. I'm thinking, so I immediately shot off a message going, hey, wait, oh, is this a form that I need to have if somebody's going to buy? Because you're paying me. Why do you need source of funds is from you? But can you believe they shot back a message and said, oh no, this is for you too. I was like, okay, this is where we're going. Seriously? I'm like, this is crazy. So they're asking for work references, who referred you, all kind of things, and they're paying me. Like I don't know what money laundering stuff has to do with anything or source of funds when I'm not giving them no money, but nonetheless, they said you got to sign that. This is where we're going in America too, and around the world. This is what's happening. Because they need to track every last dollar, because those who are cheating, they're not going to let them cheat. But those who have companies and corporations and stocks, no problem. So this is what we're talking about here. So protect yourselves out here, because Victor Marrero put in a very good point about 45% of individuals. Because again, this is where we're going. This is where we're going. Now, I'm going to keep this up because a lot of you are out here not realizing, just like 5-6 years ago when I came up on the scene, people were like, oh yeah, man, dude's talking. He's just this YouTuber talking crazy. We'll see what happens in about 5 years. Okay, keep playing. Keep on playing another 3 years. And you're going to be sitting on the sidelines watching the parade go by while a lot of SSN Nation members are over here in the DR relaxing at the beach, while the top 10%ers still have money. And so they're vacationing over here in our properties. And this is why we talk about amenities matter as well as location. Because if people make money, they want to hang where the amenities are. It's that simple. But look at this right here. Americans rely on credit cards to make ends meet, as 64% admit to living paycheck to paycheck. Who didn't see this coming? We knew they're going to be all-time record highs in the credit card debt business. We knew this, and sure enough, it's all-time record highs. And guess what? They're going to break the record this year too, because when you talk about 70% of people are going to have to use their credit cards to make ends meet, that means more debt. Who wins when there's more debt? It damn sure ain't you. All right? Damn sure won't be you. So I just wanted to point this out. Once again, another survey comes out of dire situations. So some people said, oh, Eric, don't keep talking about business. Don't talk about buying assets. Don't talk about all this stuff. Why don't we get to getting credit? See, this is why I stopped talking about credit like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, because I knew 29%, 35%, all of that was coming to a head. You were going to have to pay off all that stuff at high interest rates. You knew what was going to happen. So that's why I stopped talking about that and started talking more about starting a business, making money, putting investments in your portfolio. So that way, when cost of living rises, you have a little bit of extra money coming in that you don't have to work for. That's what we set you up for. How many people listened? Just like always, if there's 1,000 people, you only know a handful, less than 5 is going to do anything. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to find yourself, if you don't do something now, you're not going to have enough money to do anything later. Doesn't work like give me time. There is no time. So this is why in 6 months, I'm going to have December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We're going to have another investors forum here in Dominican Republic in Punta Cana. The tickets are on sale right now. For the first 5 people, it's $199. Yes, we started 6 months early. The tickets after that go up just like anything else, to $249, and the next tickets tap out $299. Just tell you guys like it is, because the cost of living is rising even in the Dominican Republic. Why? Because inflation rises around the world because there's only a limited amount of people that own corporations that are on the stock market. They need to show a profit. And if it's 3 to 5 to 10%, so that CEO gets triggered his stock options because he got the stock to a certain price point or got a certain percentage of increase in sales and revenue, then so be it. They're not going to care about you. They're looking for that target number, just like $281 billion in profits by the oil companies after the Ukrainian war started. All right. Just letting you know, Curtis Davis is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. It's Mr. Financial himself is in the house. But don't be fooled. Mr. Financial in this YouTube street, but on the real YouTube street, he's also known as Chili Davis with 2 L's. He has his own channel. You need to go over there and pay attention because he gives updates throughout the day with regard to the stock market and financial news and updates as well. So therefore, that's why you need to go show some love at Chili Davis and go subscribe as we speak. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel here, do that first. Subscribe, click the all notification bell here in the Stop Struggling Now Nation. And then you go over to Chili Davis, CHILLY, because he's part of the SSN Nation family. And then you go over there and you show some love for him too by subscribing and clicking the all notification bell. Watch some of the videos. He has over 1,000 people, subscribers. That means he could be monetized. I'm sure he is by now. So show some love by watching some of his videos. It's valuable. It's the stock market where 89% of the stock market is owned by the top 10% of the wealthiest. That should tell you all you needed to know. Been spouting that for the last 4 years now. So just keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. While you're out here on this Memorial Day weekend, you might want to change up and say, hey, I need to put money away that's earning money, making money while I'm sleeping. Maybe I need to put money away because I'm going to have children. I'm going to have my children here sitting right here, not be able to. Think about this. Some people right now have children that are 10 years old, 12 years old, 8 years old. By the time they are 10 years from now, they're in their early 20s or somewhere between 16 and 21, and they look up and be like, houses cost $800,000, $900,000. My paycheck says $35 an hour. I can't get there. Let me go get this rental apartment. Wait, hold on a second. They're charging $4,000 per month for a 1-bedroom. Well, I don't make $12,000 a year when I'm 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Now what? Nor when I'm 24, 25. Now what? This is where this is headed. It's already here. It's gonna be worse. So if you don't have your children earning or learning some skill sets, that's gonna be in the form of you know what. So it's simple things like AC, heating, plumbers, people that can fix washing machines, dishwashers, solar panels. I mean, it's going to have to be a service industry overhaul. Those are the guys that are going to be making the money because they're going to be able to charge you whatever they want. All right. This is where it's going. The days of, oh, hey, my transportation time cost $150. That's already here. Now that I showed up, I'm going to charge you $1,200 and I'll take the $150 off, but we got to go get some parts. So now they're add on the 10 to 15% on the parts because they have to go get them. The parts aren't cheap because only a few companies control the supply and build the products. So now all of a sudden, the next thing you know, something that should have in the old days cost less than $100 is now going to cost you 1,000 or more. And the item that you bought is going to end up being less than what you're going to be paying in repair costs. This is where you're going, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to be able to survive unless you have a plan. So that plan needs to be implemented right away. James Way, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with that icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate. And he says, good evening, all, with his tagline. Got the notifications. That's excellent. But did you smash the like button? A one piece. And then he says, blessings to the families of lost loved ones in their service. Blessings it is. Salute. You have that to say for sure. Curtis Davis says, AI or automation here like Copilot, eliminate white collar. Well, all I can tell you right now is he's correct. If you think things are going to get worse, AI makes it a lot worse. I mean, this is going to have to be like Star Trek pretty soon. Free food. Just go to make sure that you're maintaining the power station or the spaceship. And everybody gets to eat, drink, and be merry, and even have AI chambers. That's pretty much where this has to go. There's not going to be enough jobs, or at least high-paying jobs, to be able to afford $200,000 a year, because that's where this is going in less than 3 to 4 years. You guys don't understand. I've been saying this for 5, 6, it's about to be 6 years coming up. I've been saying this ever since I showed up on the scene. I know it's not good words to hear, but the bottom line is you have to be realistic. There's no amount of anybody that's going to save you. No amount. There's no government that's saving you. That's not their model. Their model is to make sure that they stay afloat at your expense. You have to pay the taxes, not them. You have to pay the sales tax, not them. You have to pay the IRS, not them. So therefore, you are at risk. You, your loved ones, your family, your friends, people that are sitting right next to you saying, are you listening to what this guy's saying? I don't think he's right. I think I'm going to take a chance. Even though he said 70% of the population is living paycheck to paycheck, it's going to drop. How? It can't. It's not going to happen. It's going to keep going, and you're getting squeezed. And when soon as they squeeze everything they can wrangle out of the turnip, the empire crumbles. So you have people that pick up the pieces of an empire, and then you have some other people that say, you know what, I'm going to use money from some other source to pick up pieces of the empire. When there was the Great Depression, there were millionaires born out of that. So don't fear, but you're going to have to figure out a way to make money or live in poverty. You're not going to be able to do both. So you should be setting up that extra money coming in now. Now, again, we've talked about pre-construction for the last few years. And all I can tell you is 2 years may be too late for a lot of people. Curtis Davis, i.e. lawnmowers, $300 versus $150, exactly. Costs rising, costs going up, exactly. This isn't going to stop. This is not going to end well. Again, 70%, 78%, according to certain surveys. 65% was last year numbers. 70% is the consensus, pretty much living paycheck to paycheck. And if America's living paycheck to paycheck, the consumer nation, guess what's happening around the world? Now, of course, there's hot spots, Singapore, Dubai. There's always hot spots. Thailand, I guess. I mean, Costa Rica, I guess. I don't know where the hot spots are, but I do know when I have record tourism, I want to be in that hot spot. That gives me opportunities starting businesses. That gives me opportunities to do real estate. That gives me opportunity to do a whole bunch of things when I know I have tourists coming in or populations of people coming in. I know airfares or airlines are starting to increase different connections, like Milwaukee to Punta Cana direct flights just started. This is getting crazy, right? It's wild, but somebody's going to have to do it. But 74% of Gen Zers report variable paycheck to paycheck living. This is getting crazy. This is getting real, real crazy. 63% of baby boomers. This is getting crazy. We told you about it 5 years ago, and here we are. You thought it was a joke. You thought I didn't know what the guy's talking about. You said, oh my God, he's talking. Again, whatever stories you want to make up. You have Google. You have history. Okay, maybe you don't have history books. Some are bad. But I would advise everybody, you should study the Roman Empire because the United States is acting just like the Roman Empire. How could you have a vast military power with all its might, with all its glory, fold up like a cheap suit? Well, when your citizens don't have any more money to pay for these vast armies and vast ways of life, you're going to crumble. That's what's going to happen here unless there's a change. Unless you guys start figuring out a way that the oil companies who earned $281 billion over the last 2 years, how they need to pay their fair share, because without paying a few billion, how about 10? How about 30? How about 50? 50 billion could actually stop world hunger. I'm just saying. To give you an idea of the depth of the situation here. 50 billion, and they made 281 billion in profits. They could have stopped world hunger just off of their profits and taking 20% of their profits. Or 50 billion for infrastructure in America, since they keep the money offshore. 50 billion for infrastructure, so the roads, bridges, kids have school, free lunches, free education, health care for everybody. How about that? That's just one sector of our economy. One sector. That doesn't do that has nothing to do with the cable companies and energy companies, meaning, you know, your PG&Es in California, your SMUDs in California, your Citizens Utilities and all the others, right? Edison in Florida, things like that, right? Those guys are killing you as well. So again, these are the type of things you need to remember, and smash the like button so at least I remember that somebody was watching this, because the YouTube guys don't like this type of speech. They want me to sell courses. That ain't going to help either. It'll help a few people. Yes, everybody can be helped by reading books that help you, even if it is a course. But it's 1,000 people, less than 1% are going to do anything with the course. The other 99% is a fail. So why don't you get something more concrete? Like when we say dividends make money, real estate makes money, buy a business that already exists. So that way, if you invest, you know the profit's coming in. Why wouldn't you do this? Why wouldn't you tell somebody, hey, get into the business of, yeah, mowing lawns is a good thing. AC and heating's a good thing. Plumbing's a good thing. Fixing roofs and knowing how to do a roof is a good thing. Remodeling a home or remodeling decks, all of that's going to come into play because people aren't going to be able to afford to buy new, right? It's common sense. You're going to need all the specialty workers that you can't make. They're not going to make an AI robot to do plumbing, heating, AC. Not going to happen. Just like they're not going to be putting very valuable machinery on a roof to put roofs on homes. That's not going to happen without a cost. I should say it's doable, but it's going to cost you a lot more money than the labor. So again, these are the type of things that you have to think about, whether it's for you or your loved ones or your family or friends or neighbors or children that you have, or nieces, nephew, grandchildren. You got to lay into them about they're going to need to be more self-efficient than anybody else after 1930s. Before 1930s, everybody had to be efficient, had to be able to, plant food, vegetables, grow, water, seed, wash, rinse, repeat, dig a well, figure out how you get rid of your waste. All of that was a way of life early on until the 1930s, 40s. Now we have so much automation that people don't know how to do anything, me included. So we're at a disadvantage. Somebody says, hey, go out here and make some oranges grow. Okay, we might be able to do that. But if somebody starts saying, hey, man, make some greens, make some lettuce, make some potatoes, make some yams, make some, hold on a second. And oh, by the way, go out there, kill the cow, take the skin off, chop it up. Seriously? I couldn't do none of that. But I damn sure would have to learn if it was necessary. But see, those type of jobs are going to be needed. So you have to understand where you are, ladies and gentlemen. The fallen soldiers protected our way of life, but unfortunately, it's changed into a different system, capitalism or freedoms, and it's turned into capitalism. You have no way to just go, I'm just going to deal with freedoms only. You're going to have to deal with this capitalist system. That is an existential threat on you and your family's lives forever. And in 3 years or less, you're going to be sitting here going, damn, Eric said something like this. Just call it June 1st. But it's Memorial Day, 5/27. So that would be able to remember better. Memorial Day, 2024. He was saying 3 years. T minus 3 years. That's it. Just like when I said 5 years ago that it'll be 5 years and it's going to hit the fan. It's hit the fan, ladies and gentlemen. But in 3 years, the fan will be broken and you're going to be left busted up and broken, you and multitudes of your family. Unless they have things in place already. A lot of people have baby boomers as parents. So you have to go home. You're going to hang around them. But even the baby boomers, the amount of money that they're going to be able to save now is going to be reduced. So now they aren't going to be able to take a hold and carry the load because there's going to be way too many people down the line that they need to carry the load for. So again, welcome to the SSN Nation. But again, what are we talking about? Your capitalism, you're going to have to start thinking capitalism. You're going to have to start thinking, I need to figure out ways to make extra streams of revenue legally. And you're going to have to take risk, unfortunately. We've seen this play out in Europe before. Europe's much older than America. That's why they don't bring the European history books over here, because then you'd be like, oh my God, this is what happened. This is what they did. This is looking like an exact mirror of what America's been doing for the last 300 years. They already know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. You need to get some history books from outside the United States. I highly suggest that as well, but that's not going to do you any good because the answers are right here. 70% live paycheck to paycheck. Sooner or later, it's going to be 75, not sooner or later. It's going to be in the next 3 years. 75%, then it's going to be 80. And once it hits 80, it's a wrap. And that's going to be within 3 years. It's a wrap. Because after you get 80% living paycheck to paycheck and you have revenues not coming in, and now you have people can't buy at these corporations, you have an implosion. The only thing that anybody can do is print more money. Printing more money causes more inflation. More inflation means more people can't afford anything. It's a cycle unless they do something drastic, like starting to tax people who make billions of dollars, corporations, that is, not people so much, but corporations. If you keep letting them not pay tax, then the 80% who are living paycheck to paycheck aren't going to be paying tax either. So now what? Now what? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see who else is in the house. Jawway J is here, another SSN Nation member in Punta Cana in the last 3 weeks. It was very nice to see you and the wife, and welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with that icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate. Thank you, Jawway J. And he brings his tagline, hello, SSN Nation. Hope everyone is doing well. Yes, me too. But apparently, like James Way always says, the rent is too damn high. The food is too damn high. The cost of living is too damn high because 70 to 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck with no end in sight. Oh my. But Jawway J, thank you so much for being here. And once again, I got to give a special shout out to our new member, Gibber Yahoo, in the house tonight. Thank you so much once again for being here. And again, I'm going on a little rant because the fallen soldiers protected our way of life, but who knew they were protecting freedoms and our way of life, but they may not have known that they were not protecting us from the capitalist system that's about to implode. And you need offshore opportunities. Come on over. You can play with me at Dominican Republic. We've got spots for you, especially if you want to sell some real estate. I got spots. I'm a broker now. SSN Lifestyle SRL is legitimately broker, so we got a spot for you if you want to sell real estate. I'm just saying, you know where to find me. You can go to the WhatsApp group, SSN Nation and Lifestyle. You can go there. In fact, let me put in the chat room. Let's go. Chat room, WhatsApp. Let's see here. Go here. Not hard to find. Not even hard to find in the DR. Crazy. But here we are. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I think it's time for me to take a little break. Why don't I do that? I think I'm going to hit the, let's see here. You know, I don't want to do the Wall Street one. So I'm trying to figure out which video am I going to play. I think I'll do St. Martin, 47 seconds. Come on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, work hard, play hard, have fun. But these little excursions, these little toys that people have, the boats, the cars, the multiple items of liabilities. Unfortunately, a lot of those liabilities are getting repossessed right now. All right. I mean, this is what we're talking about. There's no way you can credit yourself out of this. Let's see. I'm putting in right now, repossessions. Here it is. Let's go show you so you guys understand this is no joke. It keeps going. Bank possession, repossession increased 7% from last quarter. Lenders repossessed 10,000 U.S. properties through foreclosure, up 7% from the previous quarter, but down 20% from a year ago. That's in April of 2024. Car repossessions, 1.2 in 2022. I don't know what happened in 2023, but it keeps going. Yeah, we're on the list. Here we go. 2022, 1.2. So this is where we're going. I mean, just keep doing all the metrics. Credit card debt record high. Here it is, $1.13 trillion. This is in February, so you know it's even higher now at 29%. You guys can start doing the math. This is going to be 1.3, 1.4 at the end of the year. 1.5 probably. That'll be an all-time record as well. That's crazy. You see where we're going. This is why it's imperative. Now, I can't really tell you what else to do. There's not much that you can do to make additional streams of revenue if you work for somebody else 8 hours, 12 hours a day. You have limited choices during your time off. Sleep, eat, and go back to work. You have to figure out another skill set. That means you have to study. That may mean you have to go to night school. I mean, whatever the case may be, you have to get another skill set that can bring you extra streams of revenue or not. Or you can buy some stocks or dividend stocks that give you 15, 20% right now, even at the rate of this stock market. But that's what you're going to need. If you think that 8% or 5% or 3%, like it was from like 1975 to 2010 or 15, that little 8 or 9% that you're going to get on returns is going to work. Unfortunately, from this time forward, there is no such 8, 9, 10% under that number. There's no 2%, 3% inflation for a long period of time. So when you make 9, 10, 11, 12%, you're making a nice chunk of profit. You now need to say, I need 15% return on my money. That's the point where you got to start thinking. I always think 20. I don't really think even under 20. I always try to get 20. So when somebody says real estate investing, I say, yes, I want 20%. Why do I want 20%? Is because I know I'm going to win at 20. If I can get 20 my first year, the sky's the limit after that, because as we know, rent prices increase, no matter if it's short-term rentals or long-term rentals. So therefore, if I can get 20% or close to 20 out the box, then in a few short years, I will be at 25 to 35%. Just in a few short years. And again, there's a lot of people that have a misconception. The places that people want to travel to, hot spots. The rich always travel to hot spots. But do you have the place, the accommodations, the villa, the mansion? Do you have that location where the rich or the wealthy would want to stay? See, that's the questions. Now, let's just say the rich and the wealthy are very smart. They don't like spending their hard-earned money, right? So they'll say, I will stay at a different location because nobody knows I'm rich and famous anyhow, unless I tell you. So therefore, I will stay at a place like our latest endeavors, Oasis Lake, if I had 2 or 3 people, because we'll get the top unit at 210,000. Well, see, here's the thing. Because of the location and the amenities of the water park already existing, now there's a value added. Just like in Vistacana, just like if they were able to build Larimar, or able to build Cruise on Land, or Atlanta that's going to be built. So all those amenities will matter, because the rich will say, I'm either going to stay in an all-inclusive, or I'm going to stay at a place that, hey, you know what? We're going to stay in a condo this time. But is the condo going to be big enough for a family of 4? That's the $1 million question. Now you start thinking villas. Villas are starting to increase in price here. Used to be able to get almost $1,000 per square meter as a sale price. Things are starting to get to $1,500 to $2,000 per square meter, not in places of upscale. It'd be more in upscale locations, but this is where we're going. So the rich or wealthy or the people that can vacation, they're going to start making choices. So therefore, if you say, hey, you stay with me, your kids can do the buggy ride. You got 18 to 21-year-olds. They can go to the nightclub out back. And we got zip lining and rock climbing and pools and water skiing and all that. It's included with our stay. And we have a family of 4. All of a sudden, it starts being a very, very nice proposition if somebody says $350 per night, because they'll start calculating, well, if all 4 of us did the water skiing by itself and the wakeboard and all that, we'd have to spend $99 per person per day. So now we can do this and zip lining and the buggy rides out back and all this on site. Don't have to get in a shuttle. Don't have to go traipsing around another area of town. You're on premise. After you finish, you come back to your apartment. That is, how much is that worth? Well, I'm going to tell you how much it's worth. When the guys were doing the music event, the AC Hotel Marriott is downtown Punta Cana. I don't think nothing of it. I've never stayed there. I've been there in the lobby. I've seen their breakfast buffet in the morning. It's awesome. I see the pool. It seems like nothing major. It's a nice sized pool with loungers, cabanas on the side, but hardly that many people. Why would there be? There's a beach here. So I'm not thinking anything of it. The guys stay there. All of them rave reviews. This is awesome. I then find out they have a freaking restaurant on site, which did not know. They're also behind San Juan Plaza, where the IKEA is, and the grocery store and restaurants and shops and bars across the street and there. So all that was within a 5-minute walk. So already they were loving staying at the AC Hotel. Can you imagine when people start realizing they can stay downtown in condos, but though that's $180 a night, $170 a night. Imagine what it's going to be in 3 years, in 2 years. But now the competition rolls in where people say, I'm not going to stay at the AC Hotel, even though they have a nice little breakfast buffet that's awesome in the pool area, because now I'm going to stay at another location that has a pool, okay, and I have my own kitchen. So I can go to the grocery store, since it's right here, come back and fix whatever I want. I'm not beholden to whatever their menu is. And I'm not beholden to ordering dinner for 4 or 5 people, depending on how many's in the party, where everything is $25 to $35. So you're easily going to reach the $150 to $200 per night if you eat out. So now the value of being able to go to the grocery store and spend $150, and then you have food for a couple of days or more, all of a sudden that changes the whole landscape. And when you throw in the amenities, now all of a sudden people are like, wait a minute, how much is this worth to me if the people I'm with can stay here and don't have to go anywhere and go through to excursion type properties? This is what we're talking about. This is why we talk about amenities, 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 and location, 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 but not in any particular order, because it turns out if you have the right location with the amenities, you win. If you have amenities and it's not in the right location, but there's a reason you're in that location, then you win. Like Atlanta, that's like in a weird location, but they're making it where you can exit out of it to the highway or somewhere in the back section. I don't know exactly, but they're going to have everything there. And that's why you're paying the higher prices. Like right now, there's some stuff left at Atlanta, but we're talking 2,500 square feet of space, and it's $2,000 per square meter, which is pretty cheap, but that's $500,000 for a 2,500, 2,450 square foot place. And by rights, that's what you should be paying. And it's going to be in Atlanta, which has, shopping, sports complex, a stadium, as I call it. That's what it is. It's going to hold thousands of people, and waterways and all this, that, and the other. Is that worth $2,000 per square meter? Hell yeah. But who's going to buy one for $520,000? There's only like 4 units left, and they're all those 2,500 square foot condos. Fully furnished, by the way. But nonetheless, if you want one of those, hit me up. But again, you have other options along the way that you can get there. So once again, just keep that in mind. All right, everybody on podcast, make sure you show some love. Smash the follow, smash the love, smash whatever button so the YouTube gods and podcast gods know that you're in the house. And again, one piece it, please. And if you like what I'm talking about, please subscribe to the channel, click the all notification bell. Also, on Wednesday night, it's Wednesday night where it's members only that can be in the chat room, those with the icon. Go over there. Hey, if you become a member of the channel, you can join us on Wednesday night in the chat room, because the chat room is closed on Wednesday night. Only members with the icon can be in the chat room. It's 8:50 p.m. Now, I'll be talking about a little bit something else. I will be talking about some real estate. I will be showing some more pictures. Oh, and by the way, Victor Marrero, I got to give you some congratulations. In fact, let me give congratulations to everybody who bought out at Connor Rock. Connor Rock has been missing several things, to my dismay. Grocery store for one, commercial zone for two. So now what has happened? I found out, since I'm a broker for Noval, that they had something out there called Riviera Bay. I'm actually going to show this right now. I couldn't believe it. Look where Riviera, let me see. Hold on a second. Okay. I had Riviera Bay up a couple of different locations, but hold on a second. Make sure I have the English version. Here we go. Here we go. I want you guys to see something. This is very interesting. So I got to give congratulations to everybody at Connor Rock, which was not my favorite place because you have to pay to go to the pool, to the beach. I mean, just crazy stuff, right? Not one of my favorites. But I want you guys to see. Let me see. Did I miss it? I think I missed it. Oh, didn't miss it. Here it is. Here it is. Look, Riviera Bay is right here. Hard Rock is right here. I don't know what that is. And here's a hole. Here's a hole. And here's some water. Yeah, okay, I know what that is. But look at all these condos lined up here now. Look at this. Is that crazy or what? Look at all this. This whole section is going to be condos. So the reason I'm saying congratulations is several. One is you have Noval putting in a couple of places. So now, let me see if I can see what they have for amenities here. I don't even know. But now all of a sudden, you're going to have Noval here, and Noval built a restaurant on the turn, that could be it. It's around here. And they're going to have and it's going to be open in like 2 to 3 weeks. Much needed out here. Otherwise, you got to go to Connor Bay, and there's a restaurant there, or you have to go inside Hard Rock and use one of their 2 restaurants or delis that you can eat at. So that changes the game. Then when they put out Mini Mart, when they build their project, yes, it's coming. They're going to have another project in Connor Rock, but they're adding a Mini Mart, and so is Oasis Bay by Vivantia Homes. They're adding a Mini Mart. I love it. So I don't know if people can get on the premises to go use the mini mart, but all I know is the people that live in those condos have a mini mart. So now you don't have to worry about having to get off property to go get something. So I'm just showing you the renderings, and quite frankly, Noval's renderings looks like they're projects. I mean, that's what they do. So if it looks like that and you like this, then I will see. But here's the thing. I'm going to let you guys know they're selling 2 bedrooms out there that are 1,100 square feet for $315,000. That's $3,000 a square meter. Or, yeah, that's what it is. 3,000 per square meter. Or 300. Is that 3,000? It's 3,000. Because that's only 100 meters. Square meters is 1,100 square feet. So, yeah, that's 3,000. So, think about what's happening with the prices. In fact, I'll show you the price list just so you guys understand what we're dealing with here. Because a lot of people do not understand what's going on from an investment standpoint, because in 3 years, there's some things that's going to happen even in the DR where at Banco Lopez de Oro, the bank that I have, they said flat out, adjustment rates only. We're not going to allow you to do any loan to value. Not going to happen. So again, here's what I'm looking at, just so you can see. 395,000 is 1,400 square feet, 3 bedrooms. So again, Victor Marrero has a 1,400 square foot place, I believe, is the Galaxy, or 1,350, 1,395, whatever. Again, we're at 400,000 for pre-construction. So he's winning. It looks like a 2-bedroom is 320. I mean, so now that the property values somehow are going to increase, I don't understand, because a guy is selling a 2-bedroom at Kana Rock Studios, or sorry, Kana Rock Condos. He won't take less than 230 and he can't sell it. So I find it very fascinating that they're charging this amount of money. People are reserving them while people are actually selling their units out there that are about 1,100 to 1,400 square feet, and they only want 230, and nobody's buying it, but they're buying these for 300 up. Amazing. It's amazing. Look at this. 300,000 all day, every day at Riviera Bay, still available. 390 is that a penthouse unit? That's not bad. If this is 626, what is that? Yep, terrace on the roof. 390. See, not bad. 390, not bad now. When these things back 4 years ago, you could have bought these things for 140, 150. A penthouse unit. Now look, 390. This is where we're going for real estate in Punta Cana and Dominican Republic, and it's going this way in the rest of the world for those who can afford to buy it. So just wanted to show you guys, this is what's happening. On the ground, boots on the ground, you're going to be in for a world of hurt unless you have some revenues coming in. E. White's in the house. Another investor extraordinaire is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with the icon next to his name. And he was in part of the SSN Nation Takeover live stream that I just re-uploaded today. Go check it out, where we had Cree, Asbury, Mo, and E. White taking over the SSN Nation. It's now a tradition whenever we have the Punta Cana Real Estate Investment Forum. And we're going to have our next one, E. White, and everybody else, December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. If you want to come on down, you need to come on down. December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Tickets are on sale now at ssnlifestyle.com. There's only 5 tickets available for $199. That's right, 6 months early. We're making it happen. And I got news today that the guys at Batu where we had the jazz and R&B and Latin music fest, they're talking about why not do another one in 6 months? This is good sign. This is a good sign. But hey, wait, as E. White knows, there's more. And he brings his tagline, good evening, SSN family. There you go. What have I missed? Well, E. White, you've missed that 78%, 70 to 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. More reasons to deal with capitalism. More reasons to deal with offshore, because a lot of people aren't going to be able to afford onshore America, that is. So therefore, you need to look at other opportunities in other locations, so you're going to have extra streams of revenue. So you miss me ranting, you miss me raving, you miss me telling people in the next 3 years that just what I told them 5 years ago, 6 years ago, that things were going to get out of hand. Well, in 3 years, things will be over for everybody in the middle class, and everybody will be needing extra streams of revenue. It's going to be bad. Okay, I did the first 5-year prediction. It has turned out to be true. The total wipeout of the middle class, like I told you guys. Now they are about to take out the upper middle class. 150 to 250,000 won't save you in 3 years. So therefore, any disposable income that you have to be like E. White. You have to be like Georges Charles. You have to be like myself. You need to put your money and invest it into assets that's going to be paying you later, because the assets are going to increase in value. And at the same time, we're going to have revenues that have increased in value. Like I was saying, do you really think that the AC Hotel 3 years from now is going to be charging less than $200 per night? I guarantee they will not be charging under $200 per night if they already are charging 180, 160, 180, 190. For sure, they will be over into damn near the 250s to 300 range in about 2 years, which gives opportunity for everybody that has a project downtown that has amenities. Because if your property has amenities that people don't have to leave, it's more valuable. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you think excursions are going to stay at $59 to $99 to $149 per person? Hardly. It's not going to happen like that. So once again, plan for the future financially, because you need that financial freedom. Now, we still have things to talk about, because remember, the SSN Nation takeover, we haven't done anything yet. Yeah, we had the nice SSN Lifestyle Punta Cana Music Festival, a one-off, but now it looks like it's going to be next year, and it looks like 6 months from now we're going to be doing something else. But 6 months from now, we're going to have the SSN Lifestyle Punta Cana Investors Forum. Tickets are on sale now, December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. If you don't know the routine, well, you know what? Take a listen to that new video that I dropped from when the SSN Nation members from the Punta Cana Investors Forum took over. Hey, Cree and Asbury was breaking down some of the events and some of the things that happened during the course of the 3 days. So go see what they said. You don't have to take my word for it, and you don't have to take anybody's word for it, but I will tell you this. Every time we have our Punta Cana Investors Forum, somebody, if not one, if not two people, somebody always gets a deal. Now, E. White, a year, well, it hasn't been a year, but 8 months ago, 9 months ago, he got a deal, $99,000 at Herbe Lux for a studio unit there, one of the biggest ones that overlooks the pool area. This time, Cree got the deal 8 months later, $88,000, $89,000 for a fully furnished studio in downtown Punta Cana at the new Coral Lake project. Can you believe this? Fully furnished, no less. On a golf course, no less. with amenities, no less. This is crazy. And then E. White and Mo took advantage of some special opportunities. They know what we're talking about. When we show up, these guys sometimes have these, give us 1,000 to reserve, give us 2,000 to reserve, and you get the lowest price and you get to pick your units later. But all kind of SSN Nation deals happening. We still have SSN Nation deals in place right now. So I suggest if you're thinking about what I've been talking about, zip lining, rock climbing, water skiing, tube pulling. I don't know what to really call that, but you're in the water on a tube and they pull you and you like that kind of thing at Caribbean Lake Park. And you like buggy rides. It's going to cost you extra money though. I just don't know how much yet, but imagine owning at that location. And again, I can't imagine that you're going to charge less than the AC hotel. I can't even imagine you're going to charge less than a excursion company. For two people, an excursion company is going to generally charge you for the buggy ride, for the horseback riding, whatever, or for the, what else do they have? Zip lining, adventures, and all that. It's $149 per person, $300. So do you really think if I have all that in my backyard, then I'm not going to be charging $250 to $300, and you get a place to stay? Because remember, two people, $300, plus you have to pay for where you're staying. So if I charge $275, I think I should get it. Now, if I get the four-person unit, well, now all of a sudden, how valuable is that when all four people can go play and go to the Moroccan nightclub? Come on. Mo better. We were just talking about you, or shall I say I was. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. What's up, SSN fam? What's up with you, Mo? Thank you so much for being in the house. And Mo is here. As I mentioned, he was on the SSN Nation takeover with Cree, Asbury, E. White, and himself, a tradition that Mo Better himself started. Once again, we'll have to leave that where it is. The video is still up, so you can check Mo Better about 8-9 months ago when we did the live stream for the SSN Nation member takeover, and it was at Stop Play. All right, what's up, E? What I missed, man? You missed a whole bunch of stuff, but we're just talking tonight. Capitalism and freedoms is what we're talking about. We're talking about what you've already been doing, taking it to offshore, because in the next 3 years, living paycheck to paycheck is only going to be for the top 10 percenters, because the middle class wipeout is complete. Those people making $150,000 to $250,000, $300,000 is about to get wiped out in the next 3 years. Meanwhile, what you may have missed is also some of this. Let's recap. Let's recap here, shall we? Let me go show you some of this stuff that you've been missing. A lot of people, if you just joined us, you may not know how dire the situation is. I've been preaching for the last 2-3 years about it, but let's see how dire you understand the situation to be. Here it is. Here it is. This one's even worse. A majority, 65%, say they live paycheck to paycheck, according to CNBC. You guys know I've been talking about 65% for the last almost 8-9 months to a year. We already knew this, but that's not the thing. That's not even the thing. The thing is, but wait, there's more, and it's worse than you think it is. Let me see if I can find it real quick, because I was started moving around on the pages. So that's not what I want. I think I'm going to have to go do, oh, wait, hold on a second. This might be the one that I need. Is this the one? Yes, this may be the one. Here it is. This is the one. Here's the alarm bells going off right here. So do you think it's a far-fetched in the next 3 years the upper middle class wipeout is complete? I don't. We will see, but I haven't been wrong yet, because it was 5 years ago I told people that the middle class wipeout was occurring. It's going to happen in this next 5 years. Well, guess what? The next 3 years is the upper middle class. All right. So by 2027, I don't want to hear people saying they didn't know, because here it is in black and white right now. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I missed it. Where is it? It's here. Nope, not there. Not there. Not there. All right. I guess I'm going to have to go find it. 78%. Here it is. That 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, a 6% increase from the previous year. In other words, more than 3/4 of Americans struggle to save or invest after paying for their monthly. You think? If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you have no money to invest. This is why the wealthy are going to continue to get wealthier. Do you guys not understand? I keep saying it. If 70% or 80% of the population are living paycheck to paycheck, then who's the only people that can invest? The top 20% of the wealthiest people. Well, now that you're going to crash into the upper middle class, that means only the top 10% can invest. So it's no wonder they own 90% of the stock market. It's no wonder they own all the corporations, and there's only 4 to 6 different corporations. Come on. This isn't rocket science. You guys are out here fighting amongst yourselves. Meanwhile, these guys are laughing all the way to the bank and taking you as prisoner. After 4 years, they take their discounts on the amenities away. I still don't think that's fair. Mo, what do you mean? What do you mean? Here it is, man. The first 3 years, free. If we're talking about Oasis Lake, I'm pretty sure you are. Free. Don't have to pay a dime. Then the 4th year, is it 50%, I think? Okay. I, like you, I don't like it either. So you know what I did? Had to put in the SSN Nation apply pressure routine. We will see how this all turns out. I'm still here. I will be going over to the offices to speak to them directly, because that's not exactly what they said when we had our meeting. Remember, it was supposed to be 50%. So it should be 50% anyhow. There's only 60 units. There's only going to be 3 phases, so there should only be 180 units. Not all 180 units are going to be rented out, but I'm pretty sure they are. But the point, a lot of units are going to be rented out there, because you'd have to be really crazy not to rent it out when you can charge people $295 a night for something you bought for $175 or $200,000 or $210,000. Come on, we'll see. I agree with you on this, Mo, but Mo, I don't think that's going to meet your criteria. Apply pressure. I will, but we already have the payment plans. The only problem is, like you said, the silver package with an unknown number. See, that's what I have fear of myself. So we know how much the excursions charge. So all of a sudden they go, you know what? The excursions could be anything. It could be $200, $400. What if we charge $400 a month? That's like 4 G's. That's not going to be worth it. So that's where this is all going to come to a head. It needs to be dealt with straight out the box. Can't have this lingering about when owners don't know how much they're going to pay, because that leaves you in a disadvantaged position. So that's not going to work. But I agree with you on this, 110%. It was supposed to be something else. It should have been 50% for owners from the get, because they're going to do a downtown package. It's going to do a downtown package. So the problem is, though, let's just do it in reverse. Let's just say they do the 3 years, okay, and then they do 50% to 4th. Now, let's say if they make us pay for amenities. Well, we all know amenities are going to cost more later. Whatever package they put together, it's going to be unreasonable to charge somebody thousands of dollars plus their HOA. So now you're going to revert to, well, I have condos living on the water in a park. That's what that resorts to. So they have to do something for the owners even though some of the owners are smart, getting in now at $175,000 for the least expensive unit, $190 for the bottom floor that has a jacuzzi, and then $210 for the up floor. Some would say, and I have to say it as well, that if I have to pay for the amenities, that's a bummer. But it's almost a catch-22 because I'm still at the Caribbean Lake Park where the people don't have to leave to do excursions. But that turns into what we have at Rock right now, where you have 2 bedrooms that people are renting for $100, $95, $80, even though they bought at $160, $150, at $200, because there's no amenity. In other words, people have to pay to go to the excursions. If you want to go to the Hard Rock, you got to pay. If you want to go to the beach, you got to pay. So this is what that turns into. So now my condo, instead of me thinking $295, $275 a night, now all of a sudden I can only charge $80 a night because they have to pay for the excursions. They have to pay to go to Morocco, just like everybody else in town. So now whatever the going rate is for a studio unit or a 2-level studio unit, that's all I'm going to be able to get. So that kind of screws. So that'll be my presentation tomorrow as I get myself over to their offices. Right? I mean, that's what it boils down to. You're effing over your buyers that invested in you and trust you. That's the way I look at it. So that's where we're going with this, as far as I'm concerned, because that's going to be the argument. Why would I see? Here's the problem. I turn it into, why would I invest knowing that 4 years from now, I don't know what I mean, I don't know what I would have to pay to use the amenities right before me. I don't know how much you're going to charge me for a silver package. And for the rest of the time I own there, what if you say something crazy like $4,000 a year or $2,000 a year plus my HOAs? What if you say something crazy like that? 6, 7 G's, HOAs plus their fee to make sure my tenants can go have fun. Why would I do anything crazy like that? I'll just make a deal with the excursion companies and be like, hey man, give me like 30% off or something. I mean, why would I pay you? I would just say, send them to these guys. And you guys go over there and you get, I mean, there's all kind of creative ways it's going to happen. So I don't know why they're going to do any crazy like this. It should be a straight, in fact, there shouldn't even be a thing. They should just say flat out $800. And then in 5 years, raise it up to $900 or something. So you can deal with the cost of inflation around 10%. That's what I would do. I would just make it easy because I need my owners to buy and I need my owners to understand the value and I need my guests to get the value. It does me no good if an owner doesn't buy the silver package. And so therefore, what am I supposed to do? I mean, you're going to have rooms that says not all inclusive, meaning no park pass. I get a little bit less money. I don't think that's right. And I don't think that's the way we should be going. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Also, don't forget to mention if the owners have to pay the amenities, it'd be cheaper to go into another project nearby and get a unit for 85 to 100K and get a gold package or platinum package. Exactly. Exactly. Actually, I already sent that. I already told them that. I said, hey, man, I could easily just buy a $99,000 studio and then just pay or not even care and let my guests go pay for their spot or go pay for the Sunday foam party at $10 per person or whatever it costs to go to Morocco every night or anything else there. I mean, what's the difference? Why am I going to pay $1,000 or $2,000 when I don't have to? The people have to go pay for excursions anyhow. Yeah, I already put that in there. Already there's a little teaser, Mo. I already put that teaser in there. I already sent off a teaser, But you know, it's always more effective when you come in person and save 75 to 100. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. 75 to 110K, quite frankly, because you can buy a one bedroom downtown for like 119, I think it is, or thereabouts. Or if you get a special deal with one of us, the SSN Nation special deal, we can get something for like 100,000 for a studio. Yeah, you're going to save 110 grand. And your guest can choose just like your guest chooses excursions right now. So I don't have nothing to do with that. I'll just collect my 1%. I'll just collect my $100 per night, 120 per night, and say I'm right around from the Caribbean Lake Park, and say that's how much it costs. Or you can go to the Bavaro Adventures, or yeah, there's and so those are the type of things that stop people from buying. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I mean, that's pretty heavy. I wanted the 210 unit myself. So when somebody says after 4 years, you're going to have to pay whatever the number is in order for your guests to use it, what if you guys say 4Gs? I mean, let's call it what it is. On top of my HOAs, like they're doing to people in South Florida. People are paying $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month for HOAs. What if you guys do crazy stuff like that? That we don't know. I want some guarantees. So that's one of the things on the purchase of the unit. Yeah, the way I look at it is by rights. If we have to start talking business, we can talk business. Because by rights, what they should have done is anybody that buys there, it should be minimal. It should be like, it shouldn't even be a silver package, $800. If they do that, it should just be silver package for free for the first 3 years, $800 for 10 years or 5 years, whatever the case may be. That's what it should be. $800 a year, most people can live with that, $67 per month on average and get everything. But why not just keep it $800 for as long as you can? Make a commitment. I think most people can live with that. I mean, I can live with it when we start talking about 800 a month, $67 a month. I can live with that. But this thing about not knowing 6 years from now, you might charge me 3. Who knows? Without the unknown, it's hard to figure out. We have somebody here, though. We have Victor Marrero that's here. And he actually owns a place, Margaritaville. And I believe he told me at one time that they get use of their property, and I think they pay extra. So I think he said they didn't really raise it anything significantly. But see, that's Margaritaville. So we can't even use them because they're not Margaritaville in reality, right? So this is what we're dealing with right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's real estate investing, and we have to put our hard-earned dollars into something that's going to give us a return down the line, maximize our return. It's imperative, and I don't think a lot of the developers, they don't realize why people are buying. Clearly, some of these units aren't big enough to live in on a daily basis. Now, as I'm staying here, I forget, it's like old times. I might as well just have a closet full of shorts and shirts that are dry fits or something, because I got to wear dry fits around here. But even though I'm wearing the SSN Nation all cotton tonight, but still, it's like I'm never wearing a jacket. I'm rarely even wearing shoes. I mean, I'm rarely wearing long pants. It's like you don't even need that much clothes. But with all that said, they're not making these closets big enough to where you can bring a lot of clothes, nor should you probably. But it's all small spaces when it comes to condos, and nice spaces if you go with villas or townhomes. So that's what you're going to need to deal with. And that's where an investor has to start thinking in their heads like me. I want a $210,000 unit. But like Mo's saying, unless this gets sorted out about how much this is going to cost and it's still up in the air, why would you want to buy something for $210,000 and then find out later it's going to cost you $2,000 per year plus your HOA fees? See, that doesn't work. And that number can rise because it is a package. So there should be some sort of commitment for 20 years, actually. Now, I know what they're going to say. They're going to say, well, you know, we don't know how much electricity is going to cost, how much anything's going to cost for replacement or repairs. I get it. But that's why you're selling the other packages. Right now, you're selling real estate. The gold, let's just say they have a gold and platinum and whatever other package. That's for everybody else downtown. That's who you're supposed to be making the money off of, plus everybody coming into the park. That's what you're supposed to be making the money from. You're not supposed to be making the money from the owners who bought into your project. You should be treating them as if they are built in, meaning by rights shouldn't be charging anything, in my opinion. But nonetheless, you should make it so minimal to the people that buy your real estate because they're already on site. They deserve whatever the amenities are. That's what you're selling. That's why the prices are higher going in and soon to be higher in about 5 days. That's why you're raising the pricing. So it should be included, but we can't get there. That may be a bridge too far. But the fact of the matter is I would be advocating for a standard format. After you have the primetime management company, then you need those rentals to have the all-inclusive, so to speak. Yes, it's all-inclusive, so we get to charge you $295 per night or $329 per night for 4 people. And so you can justify. But this thing about an open checkbook, that's not sitting good. When I asked them, they said they didn't foresee not being the ones who are in charge of the package after 3 or 4 years, but they could not give a definite answer. In other words, if someone else was to take over, management, it could increase. Well, first of all, you already know, Mo, there's going to be management. It's going to be, well, I won't say the names, but it's going to be one of a name known by a lot of people. 2 names known by a lot of people are being in negotiations right now. So it's going to be one of them. And they're right. One of them could, well, see, I don't know about relinquishing. If I own the park, I'm not relinquishing the right. I would give first of all, if I sell the units, which is what they're doing, they own that project. Whoever is the management company doesn't own the project, so I get to dictate to them how much I want to charge for packages. It's not the other way around. All they're going to do is rate the rooms and give it a price that they effectively can rent it for. That's what they're going to do. So now it depends on if I include the package, then it's going to be this price. If the package isn't included, it's going to be that price. That is the only job of the management company. So them trying to pawn it off on the management company is not going to work. So I'm going to tell you right now, there's no management company that's ever told me anything other than my fee is. After my fee is, then everything else goes according to what I want because I'm paying them. It's not like they're working for free. Come on. So I dictate to them what I'm doing. So if I have a Caribbean Lake Park and the management company comes in, says we want 25%, then I'm just saying everybody that owns here gets in free and their tenants. Simple. What else is there to talk about here? They pay their HOAs to us. You manage, you collect the fees, the money for the rentals, you deal with the housekeeping, and you get your 25%. It's that simple. I wish it was. That's how simple it is for me. But again, I've been doing travel stuff for a long time, and it should be that simple. It shouldn't be crazy tiers where you have your owners wondering, well, how much is this going to cost me in 5 years? That shouldn't be a thing. That stops people from buying, by the way. So let's see. Mo's saying, I'm referring to the package. As far as the rental price, that's controlled by management. Remember, we don't set the rental price. I was bringing that point up to Nori. Right. I'm pretty confident on the rental values. I think everybody's going to be at 1.5%. I just can't see even $100 per night when you have all these amenities here that people spend $100 per person to go use. So I have to believe that it would be $200 per night. I just can't. For a studio, I just can't see it. A hotel room at AC Hotel is almost $200 a night right now, let alone 3 years from now, it will be $200 per night. So unless something crazy happens, but I don't know what that crazy would be. So we will see. Yeah, there should be a range of 10% above at least. Yeah, well, we'll find out. I'm pretty sure they're talking about it. I'm pretty sure there's been some new adaptations to what they figure is going to be the best. But the best is to streamline. That's your best bet. You just tell owners, hey, it's going to, I like the $800 myself. I thought that was reasonable, $67 per person. I don't really care about the 50%. That's nice if they're going to do it, but it should be $800 a year. Flat out, if they're going to charge. And like I said, they shouldn't be charging anything, because I'm going to tell you right now, it'd be a lot easier to sell these higher at the top floor. Well, actually selling all of them if somebody said it's included. If you right now said this is included, you don't have to pay anything extra, people would be like, what? Okay. We stay in studios when we come and we go on the excursions. And we usually spend 180, 175 unless we stay in an Airbnb. I mean, there's just too many variables, but I'm just saying they're sitting in the catbird seat and potentially could be throwing a lot of sales of people that would buy their condos, which is real estate, out the window because of it. We'll see how it all shakes out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm no longer going to be on live streams for 2 hours, especially in this DR. The reason why is I just want to sleep all the time. The weather is always like humid and hot. And I want to be in the hammock, just going back and forth with the breeze. I mean, good God almighty, it's crazy out here. But we will see. And I can't keep going on and on about it. But once again, we have our capitalist system. You have to take advantage of it, ladies and gentlemen. The teeter-totter is about to go bust. All of the weight of the top dogs are going to be coming down on you on the teeter-totter, because there's 78% or 70% is on one side of the teeter-totter, 22% to 30% is on another side. The people up top are slowly and surely sliding down to the bottom. That's the upper middle class. And then all of a sudden, one day, you're going to wake up and there's going to be 85% living paycheck to paycheck. And it's going to be game over, because the revenues are not going to be coming from 85% of the population. They're not going to be able to go out here and buy goods and services. Implosion incoming. No way around it. So get your behinds off to figure out another adventure in another location outside of U.S. territories and get yourself a second passport or something. Residency, something. Because I think you may need it. But maybe in 4 or 5, but not 3. But in 3 years, you're going to need extra money for sure. More than you make now by 50 to 100%. And a lot of you might be going, what the hell is he talking about? Because I already make 120,000 per year, 130, 150. In order for me to double that, that's 300,000, 290, 270. Where's that job? That's what I'm trying to tell you. You might not be able to have a job. You might have to start it yourself or buy into a business or buy something that gives you a return on your investment. You're going to have to. Europe has already been through this already. Break open history books. America is so young, it hasn't, and it's about to go through it again, but that's because we have world currency. Sooner or later, people are going to get tired of this world currency stuff by the United States. And just like when France had world currency, the UK had world currency, they don't anymore. All right? And you flatline because you can't just borrow money anytime you want. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. If anybody has anything else they want to say, please let me know tonight, right now. Because once again, the chat room is open and you know I'm not hard to find. I put the WhatsApp in the group already. That's Forbes, living paycheck to paycheck. If somebody wants to read it, go check that out. The Forbes article, it's all over the place. Lending Tree article. Let me go put that in the chat room. You think this is a game? You're about to get squashed like a bug. I keep trying to tell you guys for 5 years, I've been saying it. We're going on 6 years. Now I'm telling you, it's already happened. The middle class wipeout, it's happened. Now I'm telling you, they're coming for the upper middle class, and that's going to be over in 3 years or less. So once again, you better get on with something. Making money while you sleep is necessary. Extra job, that's fine, but you still need disposable income to make investments. You have no option. Banks are going to start charging you for keeping money in the bank. You're going to have a no-win scenario. So therefore, you start thinking about shifting. You're lucky you live in America. You're lucky you have a USA passport. If you don't live in America and you live in other countries, you're lucky if you have a passport that you can get away and don't have to have permission to leave. You need to leave and get some other opportunities elsewhere. This is not only for American citizens, this is for worldwide. Everything's rolling to the top because you buy, as consumers all over the world, you buy. The big boys are up top anyhow. The money floats up. They buy plane, trains, automobiles. They're not reinvesting into infrastructure, not reinvesting into giving people higher wages. They're just trying to extract the cheapest wage rate to get the most for their money and profits. It's that simple. I might be out there Wednesday, but in Santo Domingo. Okay, man. Hey, I'll still be here. I'll still be here, man. Trying to get my boy Will to come out here because I got some business that we need to discuss, and he needs a little break. So I was trying to get him to come out. Hopefully he comes out here so then we can he can help me do some business. So block business. This something should happen this week. Nobody's going to stop us. They could stop and not buy anything from my company. That could be a thing. But it won't, because we're going to be cheaper than everybody else, introductory pricing and all. So we'll see how it goes. It looks like I got things in order. A3 Saval is in the house. Another Punta Cana Investor Forum member. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline, "What's up, SSN fam? You know what time it is, man. It's deadly time. The next 3 years, Alex, it's going to be bad. So therefore, congratulations to you for at least having your property, so that way you'll have an extra stream of revenue. But that one may not be able to save you. You might need more than one, because you're going to need several streams of income as people around the world live paycheck to paycheck. And like I keep telling you, a little upscale, a little luxury goes a long way, because the people that make the money, the top 10 percenters, they still will travel. And they always want to travel with their family and friends. So therefore, they want to be able to stay in places that have amenities, so they can all hang out without having to go their separate ways or all live in a villa. And then everybody has to worry about how many cars do we have here for the amount of people. All of that goes out the window when you have a spot that has all the amenities there. That's going to become more and more valuable as less and less people have this disposable income. So that's what we've been talking about tonight, because the fallen soldiers protected our way of life. They put in the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms. But did they give the ultimate sacrifice to have capitalism run all over us? I don't think so. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I am sitting here in 2024, soon to be June, soon to be 6 years on this YouTube street. Stop struggling now. The founder of the SSN Nation. And once again, since Alex just came in, December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we're having another Punta Cana Investors Forum. And the price is right now $199 for the first 5 tickets. It's going to escalate like I'm Shaq. You know, when Shaq does his Super Bowl parties, he starts off $25, $50, then it keeps going up. That's what I'm doing. So get in now, 6 months in advance. 5 slots is available at $199, because after that, it's going up to $240. Well, automatically, once those are gone, then the next price tier is $249. Then the next price tier is $299. And there's only 3 for $249. And everything after that's $299. So get your ticket now. And I will also find out if we're going to actually have another SSN Lifestyle Music Festival on a Friday and Saturday night that weekend. How about that? Because the guys at Batu said, when I told them we're coming back 1 year from now, they said, why not 6 months? I'm like, okay, we're going to have to talk, because I need to find out what our next contract is going to say, because the next contract, if it doesn't say what I want, I don't know if we're going to be able to deal. Unfortunately, no matter how much I love the place and the way it looks, it does not matter, because we are looking for profit this time. I am not paying for everything like last time. Not going to happen. All right. That crap took a toll out on my pocketbook. It stopped me from being able to buy stuff. I was like, holy sweet, you guys don't understand. When you're paying for like 9, 10 people to stay at the AC Marriott for 5 days, and Marriott charges, even though I got $99 per night, it does not matter. They're 28% tax around here. So it cost me basically $130 a night, which is still cheap. But you can start doing the numbers. 10 people. What's that? 1,300 times 5. I haven't even done the numbers. I just wrote them down on a piece of paper as the expenses. And yeah, I didn't like it. Thousands. So just think about that. And then some stayed 2 weeks. So just 15 to 20 G's hotel costs. Airlines, 500 a person, 400 a person. 5 G's, something like that, 6 G's. Then you got to pay for their performances, and then you have to rent equipment, another 3 G's. Then you got to pay the artist. That's 15 G's. Man, I spent a lot of money. So in the meantime, I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. Did you just say 10% down, 13,000 for that? And I'm like, oh yeah, I just spent that in hotel costs for like 7 nights or something crazy. Oh, well. But next time, 6 months, a long time to promote. So we can promote and get some ticket sales early. So that's what we're probably going to do. I'm already planning it right now. The big boys might not be coming, but there's plenty of big boy artists on the island already. And I could use their services. They have the right price. So we're going to make it happen, I believe. It'll be jazz. It's going to be a little jazz, a little Latin jazz, R&B. Well, there's hardly any R&B. But nonetheless, we're going to get somebody to come out here, R&B. In fact, I have a plan. I just remembered. I know this kid who's awesome sax player as well. So maybe I'll get him to come, because then it won't be 9 or 10 people or 11. It'll just be 2. So that won't be too bad. But we'll see how it all goes down, you guys. You got to make extra money when you can, how you can. That's the theme. This is Money Making Mondays. You can't rest on your laurels. You're going to have to buy a business. You're going to have to figure out ways or create a business that you know is going to get you a return on investment. There's no longer ways. You're going to stop this. Look, using credit cards to the max. I understand it because you're living paycheck to paycheck. I get it. But the fact of the matter is, you gotta stop using them. And if you're going to use them, you got to use them for advancing a business. Because the same thing you're using your credit card for liabilities is still a liability if you try to do a business. But at least for a business, you can have a chance to get a return on investment for another lifetime, which is up to 20 years is what I call a lifetime, because every 20 years you have another lifetime. And so when people don't understand what I'm saying is, if you're from 0 to 18 to 20 is one lifetime. Now you're like 20, 21, you really don't know anything. You think you do, but then you get into your late 30s, early 40s. That's another lifetime, because now you're understanding, hey, wait a minute, I got to do this, that, and the other. So then when you're 40 to 45, now you get into another lifetime. And then if you get to live over 65 in the 70s, that's a whole nother lifetime. Things change. You're older. Your mind's different. The way you think is different. That's a whole nother lifetime. So again, your lifetime is up, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, America has made it where you have to make decisions in the next 3 years. You already had to make decisions already in the last 5. But in the next 3, if you don't have things in place, I said this 10 times already, that's going to give you a return on your money, you're going to have problems. I don't want that to be you. That's why in the SSN Nation, you can always hit us up. You can always join our WhatsApp. You can always hit me up in email, support@stopstrugglingnow.com. And I know it's hard out here, ladies and gentlemen, but this is why I have this talk with you Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. So hopefully you guys don't have anything else to talk about tonight, and I'll see you on Wednesday night at 8:50 p.m., but only members with the icon can be in the chat room. Everybody else, you can watch. Smash the like button on the way out, please. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, please. And for everybody else who are part of the fallen soldiers, families, we are always pulling for you. And the ultimate sacrifice you have done is by any measure unmeasurable. And I appreciate what you and your family have done for us to be out here, to be able to make moves without repercussions and our minds being altered in a certain way. So thank you. And for all that said, ladies and gentlemen, be safe out here. You never know. We know 78%, up to 78% are living paycheck to paycheck. So when somebody's acting crazy, you don't understand why people are acting out. It's stress. It could be a situation that just occurred because they understand they just lost their job and they're sitting there going, well, now I live paycheck to paycheck. And they realize if I can't get money in, I'm going to lose where I live, lose everything else, lose my credit, lose my cars, that's a lot of heavy burden. And if 78% of the people are living paycheck to paycheck, you can't borrow money from 8 out of 10 people have no money. So it's not like your friends can come bail you out. It's not good. So with all that said, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.